Let's focus on GMDC. Now, the stock from the start of this year has been a bit of an underperformer. It's corrected considerably from the recent peak, but the management in their annual report has given a big guidance by 2030. They're talking about revenues in excess of close to around 14,500 crores. To discuss business momentum, how they look at diversification, what's the way ahead, Mr. Roopwant Singh, the MD of the company, joins us on the show. Hi, Mr. Singh. Good morning, and thanks a lot for speaking to us here on CNBC TV 18. Well, that one-year chart came up for our viewers on the screen, and the stock went to 500 rupees, and from there, it corrected a little bit. So we're going to break this interview up into three pieces. Your core business, the diversification plans with regard to the coal mining, and then the rare earth opportunity. So let's focus on the core business first. What's the lignite pricing looking like? It's an off-season because of monsoons, but do you see a bit of a pickup from here on? And what is the volume target for FY25 and FY26?
Okay. Thank you, Nigel. We have solved a problem which we were trying to solve for the past 2 years. That was how to manage the monsoon sales and monsoon production. Earlier, we were not able to produce, stock, and sell. This year, we were able to stock 6 lakh tons of lignite and offload it during this time. So, of course, the quarter is yet to be over, but we have sold in excess of what we sold in the entire monsoon quarter last year in 2 months only. First quarter, the results, it was an improvement of 4 lakh tons over the previous year. There we have solved the mystery of monsoon sales and production. We stock up and we sell during this time. This year, last year was again a year of great challenges. The prices collapsed and 3 of our mines struggled. 2 because of production issues and 1 because of capacity expansion issues. With new leadership, with the new chairman, all these issues were resolved. And you would have seen an uptick in our performance, physical and financial, from the last financial year.
Okay.
So that is a journey that we are continuing. The number that is currently flashing on the screen is 6.3 million tons. This was a year of crisis. But then again, even with these with the compressed production figures, we churned out a 3rd best financial year in the history of the organization.
Mr. Singh, which have rightly pointed out the volume number for last year, which is an abnormal year, only 6.4 million tons. So let's get the number for this year. Give and take everything that you're saying, what should you end FY25 at with regard to a lignite volume target? And when do you get to that 12 million ton that you're talking about? Which year?
Okay. So we have budgeted a 10 million ton goal, which is aspirational, but we see ourselves comfortably in the 9 million plus zone. H1 would be ending soon. We are fairly comfortably placed.
Okay, 9 million tons from this year, we'll hold you at that number. The other big trigger is going to be coal mining. Now, you have been allocated close to around 3 blocks, I understand. And you have a big aspiration out here to get into coal mining, which the street is quite excited about. And you've made some progress as well out there. So give us a few details. What is the total coal mining reserves that you have? By when do you start mining coal? And give us a couple of numbers. FY26, how much of coal can you mine? FY27, how do you see this ramp up on a per annum basis?
Okay, very, very clear plans. We have 3 blocks, 2 advanced stage of development, Baitarni West and Burra Pahar. The reserves are approximately 1.5 billion tons of coal. Out of this, extractable reserves are roughly half of it, 750 million tons of resources. GMDC already has a strong presence in Orissa. We are on ground in these 3 places, including Bhubaneswar, the state capital. We have a very important public hearing lined up on 24th September. We plan to break ground with our most prestigious mine, Baitarni West, in Q1 next year, and Burra Pahar by Q2 or Q3 next year. So in 26, we see groundbreaking and production of 1 million tons, and their peak rated capacity is For Baitarni West, it is 15 million tons per annum, and for Burapahar, it is 6. So we plan to reach these numbers for Baitarni by 2030 and for Burapahar by 2029. That is the biggest value and easiest value unlock after expansion of our lignite projects.
So you said 15 and 6. So by 2030, you should be mining coal of around 21 million tons, 15 plus 6. Is that a fair estimate? Is that the target? And also, how does the margin difference? What is the return ratio target that you're looking at? IRRs, if you have a number in mind.
So our management, our board has given us a clear mandate. There is a floor and a ceiling. So we are targeting a return of 15% on these projects. And while you would have also seen in the news, GMDC has inked an MOU with our state power utility GUVNL for downstream integration of the entire coal from these two blocks for energy security of Gujarat. That would be 4,400 megawatt. These plants will take 4 to 5 years to come up. In the meanwhile, GMDC will be selling this coal in the open market and ramping up its production to meet the requirements of these power plants.
So 21 million tons by 2030, right?
And I'm still not speaking about, haven't spoken about the third block, which is an unexplored block.
Yes.
It is far away. It will take 2 years for exploration to get completed, and then we will take it towards operationalization.
Got that. Mr. Singh, so 21 million tons is the target of coal mining, right? By 2030.
Yes, and if the third block
that will be additional, over and above this.
That will be over and above this. I can't give you clear figures on that, but a strategy on that would be available in a year from now. That again has a peak rated capacity of 5 to 6 million tons per annum.
Mr. Singh, good morning. Just to, you said there's an important public hearing on the 24th of this month.
Yes.
So all this is dependent on which way that goes, or this is just a formality?
Both ways, it's a formality, but it's a very important interaction and outreach with our stakeholders.
Which is the locals, right? I mean,
the locals. And
yeah. And has there been any opposition to this? I mean, has there been any problems with regards to the plans?
We have been very well received in Orissa, and GMDC has adopted a very novel approach about solving these blocks, since it is not our home state, and we had a comfort earlier training of working in comfort of our home state. So we have adopted a CSR first strategy. When we got blocks, our CSR division was the first to open up employment training centers, taking care of community needs, taking care of health needs. We have been on the ground for a year. That gives confidence with our stakeholders, with our partners, because these the locals are going to be integral part of our journey of prosperity.
All right, Mr. Singh, couple of quick details then. You have a target of 14,500 crores, which seems a very, very tall ask because you're looking at revenues go 4x from what you've already delivered. How confident are you that we get out there? Or, and also if you could tell us the rare earth opportunity, by when does those numbers start kicking in? If you can't give us a number, at least give us a timeline. By when do we hear some kind of progress on that front?
Okay. Nigel, big numbers, but they are based on very solid foundations. There are three pillars of this growth. One is deepening this existing lignite business, which we know very well. We know our customers very well. We know how to ramp it up. So a major part of the CapEx is going to go there, and the largest amount of revenues are going to come from there. Say in excess of 7,000 crores is going to come from there. This is our home state. We are very confident. Again, there is an agreement for large volume of takes in 3 to 4 years with our state power utility. So this is very sure. This is a very sure bet. The coal blocks, these are auction blocks. GMDC, and if you delay an auction block, there is a penalty. If you activate early, like what GMDC is planning to do, there is a rebate on the premium that we pay. GMDC is going to work towards a strategy of working to gain 12 to 1,500 crores of rebate in till 2030. So this early activation strategy is in line with that. If we are able to activate early, like I said, next year, and start monetizing it, we would have paid for the land acquisition for the bigger project through the rebates only. So that is the strategy. Finally, we need money to take care of the environment and plan for the future. Critical minerals is the play. We have been nominated by the government of India for a rare earth asset. We will be releasing details soon to you.
How soon? How soon, Mr. Singh? The rare earth opportunity for the last many quarters, every time we have to push you a little bit. There's a big promise out there, and you've specially mentioned it in your annual report as well. But tell us, by when do we hear about the next big announcement on rare earth?
Next big announcement soon, but by 2028, we should see numbers clocking in. Before that, there's a lot of hard work, there's a lot of CapEx outlay, and a lot of activity on the ground. We will keep you updated.
And 14,500 crores is the target by 2030, right?
Yes.
And you have such a big aspiration. What about CapEx? You're lining up CapEx of 3,000 crores per annum. Your cash flows, operating cash flows are nothing close to that. So there'll be some debt component, or will you be looking at bringing a strategic investor? Explain the funding about that. CapEx we have 3,000 crores per annum. What is the peak debt, and is there a strategic investor coming?
I'll answer it in the debt equity ratio mode. So till 2030, with this CapEx and a lot of debt that we will be onboarding, which will be in excess of 2,000 in a year, 1,500 in a year, the debt equity ratio never goes above 1. It touches 0.9 for 2 to 3 years, and that's it. Then it starts leveling out. Funding, where do we fund it from? While for the greener initiatives, for these critical minerals, we shall be approaching the markets, and there is good cheap funding available there. As far as our core business is concerned, a large part of this CapEx, we are in advanced talks with our state government-owned non-banking financing company, GSFS, that would be taking care of these solid fuel assets. So these are the plans on the table.
Okay, so we leave the conversation here for now. Thank you very much for joining in. By the way, Tata Motors slips again.